guys were getting ready. Thank you, Jen. Um, when y'all were getting ready to plan out the workshop. Um, but I just want to remind you because we're coming in on it now, um, and it's neat to hear kind of like what's the overarching theme of the conference part of the experience that we're getting ready to have. So as I think everyone knows, General Assembly is it's basically the big scale version of our annual meeting at South Church. So it's the annual meeting for all of the associated Unitarian Universalist congregations across the continent. No, across the country, US. There's a different assembly for Canada. And each year, General Assembly, well, since COVID, General Assembly has been doing a 2-year cycle where they go online one year and then they meet in person. And so we're in person this year. Um, and the theme of the conference is called Meet the Moment. So this is the little blurb that it says about Meet the Moment of this sort of overarching theme of the conference we're heading to. In this transformative time, we are called to reshape and renew, face both challenges and the opportunity for radical change. As traditional forms of connection and spirituality evolve, many are seeking meaningful engagement that reflects today's needs and values. With shifting religious practices, eco-justice concerns, rising fascism, and a push for spiritual leadership, there is an imperative to deepen into our tradition's strength. Our tradition means Unitarian Universalism. Let go of what no longer serves and experiment with new ways of being and doing in our new context. This moment invites us to harness resources thoughtfully, strengthen connections and alignment, and deepen Unitarian Universalism's impact. Rather than imposing change, we must work collaboratively and nimbly to shape a sustainable, purpose-driven future grounded in our shared values. Together, we can meet this moment with clarity and commitment, building a resilient foundation for all. So, meet the moment is something that you're going to be hearing, all of you who are coming with us. I'm going to light our chalice around that, around meeting the moment. And I'm going to invite us to check in via the chat box because it will take a really long time for all of us to unmute and share verbally. But I'd love it if each household would share a few thoughts in the chat box about what are ways that you are meeting this moment in your life now. And it can be general, it can be about just personal things that you are meeting in this moment, or it can be more of like the wider world, whatever comes to mind for you. So feel free to stay muted. You can talk with each other. You can write a few different things from different people that are on the same call together, or you can come up with something together that you want to share in the chat box. And I'm going to give us all a couple minutes for that. I'll also write down what I just asked you. Mm. Okay if you're still finishing, but I'm just going to read a few of these out loud. Meeting people where they are at in the moment. Being present with my child and her thoughts and emotions today. Meeting new people in a new place. Working to be kind with each other and help each other where and when we can. Trying new things and keeping an open mind. Working on being present at all times, no distractions from reality. Spending time this weekend with family for several family events while feeling the push to the end of the school year and pressure at work. Working to be present with the people I love for the special moments of family being together. By building community in and helping all of us remember that we can engage with our values. Taking pictures, capturing the moment. I love that. To be there for someone in need. Today, I was observing a turtle as it laid its eggs in my garden and finding an enclosure to keep the eggs safe until they hatch. Listening with intention, having no expectations. I am remembering that I am part of nature and I'm trusting the earth. Taking care of ourselves so we can take care of others. I try to be open to the many ways things may not go as I expect and roll with what happens. Amen. Staying positive, appreciating all the good people in our lives and the good work we do together. Staying observant of my surroundings, treasuring everything, even small stuff. Remembering to celebrate positives despite challenges. Staying fit for running, even in the off season. And listening with intent, constantly pursuing and working to clarify in communication. So cool. It's really neat to hear all of that. Thank you, everyone. I read them because we're recording this, because not everyone could be here, and that way they can see, because the chat doesn't get preserved in the recording. If you didn't already type it in, feel free to still add to it. And thank you for that opening. I appreciate it, everyone. So we're going to kind of run through things. Feel free to either raise your hand or even just interrupt us. I think both Jen and I will be looking at other screens, so we may not see a raised hand right away. So feel free to just unmute and be like, hold on, question, if you have one. And I'm going to start, I think, by passing it to Jenny DB. If you're ready, Jen, you feel good for a rundown on
Probably, but for what?
an update on registration and permissions.
Oh, okay.
Are
Yeah.
are you on the trip prep doc with me?
Not yet.
Okay,
I get
it's in our shared folder. It's just called trip prep.
that.
While Jen is getting to that, can I ask a question about it?
Please.
I think I have been stuck in a weird place where I registered Bryson when he was 17 and he has since turned 18. And so I can't get access to the permission forms, or at least I can't. They have not come to me. Delia's did, but Bryson's did not. And I'm wondering if they went someplace else because he turned 18, or if I should call the GA office.
They
They
shouldn't, yeah, they shouldn't have gone anywhere else, because even 18-year-olds need to have their GA treats, if they're with youth group, they are considered part of youth group.
Okay.
Kristen,
Oh, sorry, Jen.
did Bryson check his inbox for an email from Sign Now?
Bryson is is here, so I don't think so. We will group that is we
That would
talked
be
about it a
a
while
good place
ago.
to check. And then
Yeah.
if it's not there, then we can email GA. I'll
Okay.
give you the address to email. But
Yeah, I was looking through it today and I was like, this is why I cannot find this because I cannot it just doesn't I've got a lot for Delia's but none for Bryson's. So I will have him check that as well. I just didn't know if that weird 18-year-old thing was maybe a thing. Thank you for helping.
it might be.
It might be. It is a weird, the 18-year-old thing is definitely weird, but GA definitely asks for everyone, even 18-year-olds, to go through the registration process with sponsors and so forth. So,
Great. So, the things that we should already have from people that we have most of, but not from everybody, are, yeah, the completed GA online registration and permission stuff. So it's a really inefficient process, and pretty much everybody, including myself, have had trouble with it. But there's the initial first, you probably applied for financial aid. If that finally came through, then it was registration. And then the third step is a big set of permission forms that will have to be signed by parent, youth, and sponsor. So we don't have those from a few people. And then we also um, asked for the deposit a while back in January. So we are still without a couple of those. If you know that you didn't do a deposit and that is a financial hardship for you, that's okay. We can make it work, but we just need to hear from you so we don't ask for it. And the other thing, oh, maybe that was it for so far, right? Um, yeah, so the people that we don't show the completed permissions for are Bryson, not surprisingly, Naomi, Callan, Evan, oh, Evan's not going, Veda, Aria, Bella, Izzy, Lillian, and Christopher. So if you think that you have completed everything for that, and I just read your name, then maybe drop in the chat that you think you have done those so that we can do a deeper dive on searching for them. And if we still can't find them, then we'll help you figure out that part. So just keep watching emails for the next couple of days if we're missing something from you so that we can connect about that.
Sure. Sorry.
We have more permission forms that we'll need too. So this is like an add-on that we haven't already asked for. There is a permission form for South Church that's, giving us permission to take your kids in vans and drive halfway across the country and do things with them and then drive them back. I will put that link in an email tonight. We'll send an email with all the links that you still need. One of them will be our permission form. So you can print that, fill it out, bring it next Sunday to the movie premiere pizza night that we're having. Or you can, if you fill things out electronically, you could do that and email it to me. Or you can show up next Sunday and we'll have some paper copies available. So South Church permission form. And then there's also a Google form permission that is another GA form for some service like project that we'll be doing. So I'm going to put that one in the chat, but we'll also put that one in the
I
email.
just put the South Church one in the chat, the
Oh,
link to
okay.
the doc, and I'm about to post the GA day of service. So it's two other permissions separate from the registration process.
Yeah.
One is our permission form, which you can either print out or we'll have them next week. And the second one is when we're at General Assembly, we'll be
Yeah.
doing a day of service on Friday, and there's a special permission for that. So that's the link that I'm putting in the chat now.
I just sent it. I had it all copied.
Okay, great, perfect.
And we can sign this digitally?
The GA one, the one that I just put the link for, you can sign that one digitally. You have to sign that one digitally. The one that I sent is a Google Doc. So if you can do the convert and fill in and work that kind of magic, you're welcome to do that and email it to me. Otherwise, it's a print sign, give it to us, or we'll bring printed ones.
Any question about those things? I know it's the paperwork for General Assembly. I actually had a very long conversation with the folks that organize GA about like how to make this easier for people that are bringing a whole youth group. And they really did seem to be taking it to heart. So the
Yeah.
next time around, if you have younger kids, we may see some real good improvements. But I know it's been a bit hairy trying to figure out like where it all is. But
It's
these,
yeah.
yeah.
It's unusual to bring a group of youth this size, so I think their system is not really designed with us in mind. So
Correct.
we're going to change that with them.
Yeah. Yes. Also just a very specific thing. I need Levi and Delia's date of birth. So if those two families, you could direct message me right in the chat just with the date of birth for those two, as well as Maeve, but I don't know if Maeve is here. Texted her mom. Okay. We're good so far? Fabulous. Jen, I didn't get to ask you this, but on our travel day, do you think meeting at Court Street makes the most sense?
Um, I don't really think there's a difference between court and state. Either, I think either's fine. Bathroom purpose might be better at state.
Okay. So when we're leaving on the 18th, we're hoping to have everyone meet us at church at 7 a.m. I know that's a little early, but it'll allow us to get through and down, we're hoping, in the most timely way. And
It's way
um,
better than the 3 a.m. we sometimes have to do.
way better. 7 is quite civilized compared to sometimes the time of our departure. And what I would, and we will send all of this in an email reminder. So if you forget any of this, it's going to come out to all of you after this chat. You'll have reminders, but please pack a breakfast for the car and snacks for an 8-hour road trip. Keep in mind there will be other kids bringing snacks too, so you don't have to go crazy, but bring some snacks and bring a packed breakfast. If you eat breakfast before you leave the house, just keep in mind we're going to drive several hours before we stop for lunch somewhere. Um, so, um, yeah, pack some food to that end. Um, and then we're looking for parents that are willing to shuttle folks back when we return. The two vans we've rented are from a rental place in Peabody, Massachusetts, because it's very hard to find rental vans these days, and there were none even several months ago in this area. So uh, three of the trip advisors will be going down on the night before our departure to get the vans and bring them up to Portsmouth. But when we get home, we're thinking the easiest way to return the vans is to um, have a few drivers meet us in Peabody, so we can leave the vans in Peabody um, and then caravan home. I don't think everybody needs to drive the hour south, so we're looking for 4 or 5 drivers that would be willing to drive. If you are willing to drive, please put it in the chat box along with how large your vehicle is. So the way that we would like you to put that is driver plus whatever number of passengers you can hold. And then be prepared for us to put that many passengers in your car. So if you're bringing an extra person with you, then don't list the space, right? So if like two parents are coming to do the pickup, then however many extra passenger seats there are, driver plus however many seats we can plan on filling. And if you'd comment in the chat box, then we'll follow up with you. Does that work, Jen?
Yeah.
We'll follow up with you about how that's going to work. If you are willing, if you need me to, then you can say that as well in the chat. And it also would be helpful for you to put your hometown along with that, so that we ideally put you with, like if you live in South Berwick, we'll ideally put you with other South Berwick folks. Or if you live in Portsmouth, we'll pair you accordingly to the best of our ability.
Right.
So
The default is Portsmouth. So if we can't make a group going to your town, your pickup will be Portsmouth. But when it does work out to have a section that doesn't have to go out of their way, we will make that happen.
yeah.
That would be
I'll just repeat that one more time. If you're willing to drive, put your name, put how many passengers, driver plus however many passengers you can fit, and where you live. Um, and and then we'll reach out to folks. If you're willing to drive, but you would rather not, feel free to write that too. I'll drive if you need me, or something like that. And we'll put you at the bottom of the list. And if we have enough people, we won't call on you.
Megan, I see your question about date and expected time. The date is the 24th, which is Tuesday. Timing is hard to predict right now. It will be evening.
My guess is around 8:30.
But we'll be in touch. You know, we'll try to send updates as we can. But it's hard to know the exact timing right now. And Alyssa has a hand up, I think.
Nope.
Sorry, same question.
Same
Okay,
question.
great.
And Rebecca is pointing out maybe add if you have space for bags, luggage. That's a great point. So in terms of bags, luggage, assume each person you're saying you have room for is going to have a bag, like a suitcase sized bag. So if you have a quite small car, just decrease the number of passengers if you think that you'll need to use some of that space for luggage. Awesome. Any questions about that? Great. I see a bunch of volunteers already. If we do end up needing more, we will put that in the email. So when you get the email, we'll put it towards the top that we're still looking for a driver or two. So that could be a motivator for other folks to step up. But I think we're probably going to be covered by the volunteers that are signing up. Thank y'all. Okay. The other thing is we will
Question, Kirsten.
sure.
So about the form, going back to the last issue about the Google form, the GA form, it's asking what adult is going to be responsible for our child of service.
That's the sponsor for your child. And
Okay. Same one from the other form.
yeah, if you need me to look it up, tell me and I can easily do that for you.
Well, I'm sure I can find it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you just put your child's sponsor name, the same one that you used for your other permission. And sponsors, just FYI, I'm filling it out for you, the sponsor side of those forms, because it doesn't require an actual signature, and that way I know they're going to be done. So I'm about halfway there. But you will get probably an email confirmation. And if you're wondering how that happened, it's because I did the back piece of it. Okay, great. All right. Thank you for your patience on the last part of our payment. Money has been, because we've still been doing fundraisers and still been trying to figure out the logistics of what we'll be doing when we're in Baltimore. It's been a little bit of a chasing a tail, trying to figure out exactly where we are financially. But my math now, I have most of the numbers I need now. So what we're asking families for the second half of the payment is for $350, which hopefully for most of you keeps us within the window we aimed for. So our hope was that the family contribution would be around 750. For folks who applied for financial aid, this definitely keeps you within that. If you didn't get in on financial aid, it does put you a little bit over 750. If 350 additional dollars is an issue for you, as is always the case, please just send us a personal email. Let us know what you're able to cover, and we will figure it out from there. We never want financial issues to be a limitation for people to participate. But if your family is able to manage the second half of our family contribution of 350, that seems like that's going to cover our budget expenses for the trip. Any questions broadly about that?
Is there an electronic way to get that to you? Is the best way to do it through the website?
So you can most definitely do it through Vanco, through the church electronic, and I'm happy to put that link here. Vanco does charge the church a fee. So the best option is to do it with a check, just because that doesn't, or to add the fee if you're willing. And I will put the Vanco link in here. You can totally do it digitally through Vanco if you'd like to do it that way. You can also bring a check if you're coming to the premiere next week, which we'll talk about a little bit in a little bit. Or you can just drop it in the mail to the church office. It's also not the end of the world if it doesn't get to us. Like, we'll find you if we haven't gotten the check. We don't need all of the cash on hand in order for the trip to happen, but it's easier not to have to chase you down. So if you throw a check in the mail, that's great. If you want to do it on Banco, that's fine. I will put the link in the chat box. I just have to pull that up. Actually, Jen, will you pull up Banco from the website? And just in the subject line, put senior youth.
I don't think there's a subject line, but I'm going to put the one that goes directly to RE payments, and I'll
Perfect.
get it from there.
Great. Any other questions about that? Great. We're just chugging along. Okay, food at GA. This link is for the kids to fill out. I'm putting it here in the chat box. This is another Google form. It's a food form. So what we want you to write in there is, if you have any allergies, tell us about them. We will check medical forms as well. And we know with most of the youth, but it's just a second backup sort of space. You could also use the allergy section just to be like in my case, I'm not allergic to cilantro, but I don't want it in my food. I don't really like it. So you could just say, not allergic, but I don't like cilantro, or whatever you'd like. We are going to be using this document for meal planning. So the rest of the questions are really like, what do you like to have in a house for breakfast? What do you like to have for lunch? What do you like for dinners? We may or may not meet everybody's needs, but if there is a particular breakfast food that's sort of like a core thing for you, like you're an oatmeal person, or you're a coffee person, or please put an asterisk next to the things that you're like, this is an important food item for me. And we will do our very best to make sure that's on our grocery list and that we get those things for folks, because having the food that you need during the week is a good way to feel grounded.
And I will just, I hope this is clear and obvious, but we will meet needs. We just might not meet all preferences.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Jen said
I
that.
figured.
We will meet needs. We may or may not meet preferences. That form will collect your email addresses, so we'll be able to see who has and who has not filled out the form. But if you can fill that out relatively soon, then we can work to do our magic in terms of planning food. Any questions about that? Oh, and advisors that are on the call, I sent that same link to you in a separate email, but if you haven't filled that out, we also would like to hear from you. you all may choose, there will be times, so this is also maybe just helpful to help people kind of get their head around. When we are at General Assembly in the building, there will definitely be times where the youth are doing youth programming things and the advisors are not with them. So advisors will have a fair amount of time to explore other things at General Assembly, go to workshops, potentially go have lunch in the middle of the day somewhere else. If you have your own bank account and you want to go eat in restaurants for lunch instead of packing lunches, you get to make those choices because you are adults. You can do that. So you also can, pick and choose how much you're going to be kind of going along with the food plan. But for the youth, it is way, way more cost effective for us to be packing lunches from home and doing meals using our home base for that, as opposed to restaurants and takeout. Uh, yeah. So that's where we try to direct young folks. But advisors and adults that are coming with us can make your own choices around that and how much you want to indulge in other things. Okay, let's talk about packing. Jen, Deo-Barry, were you able to take a look at that list? And just
Yeah.
question, did you include sleeping stuff?
Yep, I
Yeah.
have that. It's all ready. I'll put it in the chat right now. So for packing, even though we don't have to fit in an airline carry-on, we do still have to stick pretty tightly to the list because we have to fit in our vehicles. So I'm just going to run through the items quickly. You're free to look. I see a bunch of you already on there. So we have at least one mask, preferably more, breakfast for the van ride, a lightweight sleeping bag, and a stuff sack. We won't all need lightweight sleeping bags, but we will need some. So if you don't have one, let us know. And there is an example of one at a link at the bottom of the page. Compact inflatable camping pad, same thing. An empty pillowcase to stuff with clothes for a pillow, and also just so you have your own fresh pillowcase. 4 to 6 t-shirts, one long sleeve lightweight shirt. A button down one is great for keeping sun off, so that's what I like to use. 3 or 4 pairs of shorts and or skirts. One pair of shorts or pants that can get super dirty for our volunteer work. A pair of clean pants. 6 pairs of light socks, 6 pairs of underwear, PJs or something to sleep in, one warm fleece or hoodie, bathing suit, but we probably won't use it. It's just always good to have it just in case. A pair of sturdy shoes that can get super dirty, a pair of regular shoes, and a pair of flip-flops or sandals. One hat with a brim to shade the sun, even if you think you don't want it or need it, bring it anyway. A pair of work gloves, a towel and a washcloth, a bandana, one water bottle, bring it full for when we leave in the van, and keep that handy when you get in the van. Photo ID if you have one. It's okay if you don't. A little bottle of sunscreen, your personal toiletries, any prescription medications. And on that, advisors are happy to hold and do prescription medication reminders, but you need to set that up with us before we go. A camera if you want, definitely not a necessity. A cell phone, which you're probably all super surprised to hear, but there are stipulations around that, so we'll get to that. A backpack for daytime use. Everybody should have their own like school kind of backpack for using your lunch and your out and about stuff. Small things to entertain during the long car ride. A few snacks you like for the van, a good book, sunglasses, and money for souvenirs and food. And it says airport, but I'm taking that out.
So a couple things about this list. With the warm fleece, I would actually say not warm, just a hoodie or a light sweater. The it will be warm in Baltimore while we're there, but in the convention center, it may be air conditioned.
Yeah.
So think about whatever degree of layer you would want in an air conditioned building when it's summer hot out and then you come in.
And
And
keeping in mind that a lot of southern places have their AC really cold for some reason.
yeah. So use your judgment on knowing yourself when you're in an AC building in the summer, what's the thing that you like to have in your bag that you can throw on to keep yourself comfortable. Um, with medications, with prescription medications, if your kids are bringing, if you are bringing prescription medications, do let us know. Make sure that they are in their original bottle, because if God forbid something happen, like that's how we are able to um, uh, show medical professionals and they'll know what it is. So don't put them in like a different case. Have them in the bottle that says what the thing is, and convey that to us. If you are fine to manage your meds on your own, if you deal with medications on a regular basis and you feel good about being independent with that, that's okay with us. We still want to know you have them. And as Jen said, if folks are still kind of forgetting sometimes, or it's better to have a reminder, we're happy to be support to whatever degree is comfortable for you and your family. And please negotiate that with your parents. Come to an agreement about how you want that handled, and then communicate that to Jen and I.
Right, and make sure all medications go on the South Church permission form, like anything you take regularly. And yeah, sometimes it's hard to remember when you're away from home out of routine. So happy to do reminders.
Yeah. The backpacks are really important. That light bag or light backpack is really important because we're going to be leaving the house every day, probably with bag lunches, snacks, a light jacket, our water bottles, right? So think about that. Like we are on a daily basis going from our house, a rental house to the convention center, and we'll be there for hours. So you'll want a bag to put stuff in and not probably your big luggage bag.
There was a question about a hand towel versus a bath towel.
Yeah, so there will be towels in the house. I would just bring, I don't even really know that they need to bring towels, Jen. It's a pretty
I
big
would
house.
suggest it. I mean, yeah,
I would not bring a huge bath towel. I would bring a smaller towel, like just a backup towel, so that if there isn't as many as there is humans, we have some extra towels. But we are in an Airbnb and it's a pretty robustly sized Airbnb, so I'm guessing that there's going to be a fair number of towels. So I don't think you need to go crazy, but not a hand towel, a towel that you could use for your body, but not like a giant towel. Thinking smaller amounts of space if possible. Any other questions in the general? Okay, so phones. Here's why on GA years we let you bring phones. Because General Assembly uses the phone. There's a app that we are able to download that gives you access to all of the different programming that's going on. You all are going to be meeting other teens from other UU churches, probably are going to be wanting to communicate with one another, and find out what's going on in the youth spaces. So not having a phone at GA actually inhibits your ability to interact at GA. But we still really believe that it's valuable to be off the phone in the times when we're with each other, when we're at the house. And so we will be kind of implementing like sort of a phone check-in when we get back to the house at night, when we have group time where we're not at GA. But we do encourage everybody to bring phones. If anyone doesn't, I think everyone in our group has a cell phone. If there's any concerns with that, let us know. yeah, on a regular travel year, we don't even have youth bring them for folks who are new to this experience, but GA is a little different and it's helpful to have them with. We would like you not to have them on the drive down and back up. So we will collect them for the van ride. And I know that that seems dumb because it's something to occupy, but it really does change the dynamic in a van if everybody's plugged into their phones. So we don't expect that you're just going to kind of be able to be plugged in the whole time, but we would like you to have your phones there. Any questions about that?
Brian's asking about earbuds and headphones. Yeah, you can bring them. It'll be the same as the phones, like not using them during group times. So answer is yes.
Yeah. And the thing about money, souvenirs, food. So again, it is really easy to spend a lot of money fast when you're buying drinks and you're buying snacks and stuff like that. We will have lots of those things available in the house for people to take with them. Um, and you're welcome to bring your own spending money to supplement that. And we're not gonna be hawkish about monitoring that for you. But again, talk to your parents and be clear about a budget that you should stay within around that. At the convention center, there is, what's it called? The room that has all the booths. There's a name for it. Who remembers? Christina, what's that room called?
An exhibition hall?
Exhibition hall? Maybe that's what it's called. Anyway, there is a room where there's vendors and there's a jeweler that sells chalice necklaces. Almost every time I've been at GA, there's some really beautiful chalice necklaces, and ministers will buy like stoles there. Like there's booths that sell some neat sort of UU things. Last time I was at in-person GA, there was a person who was selling these kinds of drums. Many of these things were kind of pricey things. So again, like everyone is kind of different around your budgets. If you like the idea of buying a nice chalice, you should talk to your parents and figure out how much money to sort of budget around that. And that might be something that you could do while you're there. Um, but but um, but yeah, there shouldn't be anything that you have to spend money on. So you make a decision around what that is. And does that feel comfortable and clear for everybody? Great. Okie doke. Did phones, must-haves, packing lists. All right. Um, so general assembly ends on Sunday. We will then we'll be doing a little bit of interacting in wider Baltimore, hopefully throughout GA. It's a trick to try and figure out what to book. So we're actually a little less pinned down in a schedule than we typically would be for a youth trip. We often are able to give the youth kind of a little bit of a sense of the schedule for the week. We're playing it much more by ear because we don't know all of what the youth programming is going to be, what things you all are going to want to participate with. So we're going to kind of really be feeling it out. There's a few anchor things, as we mentioned, the day of service on Friday from 2:30 to 5:30. We'll be doing a volunteer project at a park in Baltimore. We'll be doing our workshop Q&A. So people who have seen the interview documentary you all created will be able to come and have a dialogue with you on Saturday around the middle of the day. We have some orientations and things that we have to go to, and there's some anchor events that are happening, including the WARE lecture on Saturday night, a really neat and compelling speaker who we're going to go and see, some worship services. Those of you who have bridged, there's a bridging service. You can actually go up on the big stage and bridge with kids from all around the whole country, which is pretty neat. So we'll be going to that worship service. It's kind of like being at mega church. It's pretty wild. It's like you've never seen so many Unitarian Universalists in a room before. But we won't really be able to tell you specifics of everything that we're doing until we get there and really get a feel for what's working for everyone. If you're someone who's nervous about that, feel free to reach out to Jen and I. We can kind of give you as much information as we're able, but know that as the days go on, we will, just as we have in years past, have like a nightly meeting the night before where we kind of let everybody know what to expect the next day. We'll do recaps and just sort of like check in with each other about how the days go each day. And we will be in communication with families at home, just little updates throughout the trip, as well as when we're traveling, so that you know your kiddos are safe, we've gotten where we're going, and have a sense of when we're going to be home as well as we're heading home. I don't have anything else on my list, so now is the time for random questions, things I haven't said, anything that people are wondering about. I see Harper's question, are we going to do a journal throughout the trip? Yes. Again, GA is a little different than our regular trips, but we're gonna see what comes up with the journal. It may be a little bit of a different format, but I was talking to Jen, like maybe in our end of the days, we'll do some kind of like co-creating of journal entries so we can kind of document the experiences we have. We'll figure out some way to do a journal, but it might be a little different than our regular traveling trips.
And Harper, we're not giving out journals this year because of the type of trip. So if you want to be able to do your own like writing, you just bring a journal.
Yeah, that's a great point for everybody. If you like to have a journal with you, go ahead and bring one as part of your luggage. Any other random questions?
What should the what should the parents expect for pictures while you're there?
That's a good question too.
Or
I mean,
nothing. Like, we don't want to take away from the moment.
we will be taking lots of pictures, as is always the case, especially because the youth will have phones, and we will also be putting them into a Smug Mug album. Um, so we'll share that with y'all either during or after the trip, and we'll also probably send some snapshots in our nightly check-in with parents. Um, I've always found that that's sort of an easy way to allow you to let your youth kind of do their own thing. Again, they're going to have their phones for periods during the day, so if communications are happening, I think that's okay. But also you can also just decide not to be texting each other too much, and we'll still be checking in with parents just so you have a little bit of an update. So we usually attach a few photos with those kind of update emails, but we'll definitely share an album with more photos and lots of goofiness, because there's always lots of pictures.
So kind of a small obscure question. Speaking of y'all, I had a proposal for the new name of our Secret Southerner this year. I don't know if we need to go over the details of that here now, but I've been thinking in the spirit of it being a non-purchased item, we could call it Secret Assembler because we're all at assembly, but I don't know. Just throwing that out there before we
Get the juices
embark.
flowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it, Kieran. And for new travelers, Secret Southerner started when we were in West Virginia, sort of like a Secret Santa, but we were in the South, so it was Secret Southerner, and everybody got somebody's name. And on the last night, throughout the trip, you were sort of thinking about what kind of gift you could make for them. Secret Assembler.
And it's very low pressure, low stress.
Very low pressure.
A found thing, a made thing. You're not allowed to buy anything, and it can be like a rock with a face drawn on it.
Yep, or lots of them were bracelets or origami or little pieces of art,
So
whatever.
don't be nervous about it.
Don't be nervous about it. Just a sweet way to think about somebody and do something nice for them. All right, the only other thing I want to lift up is next Sunday, June 15th at 5 5 p.m. We will be hosting the premiere of We Eat Food and Talk About Stuff. Um, the movie is amazing. It's amazing, and you don't want to miss it. And if you can't be there next Sunday, we will share out a link after the fact. But it's gonna be really fun to watch it together. So as many people as are able to be there, please come. And hopefully we'll have a bunch of other folks from the congregation who will come as well and just be able to sort of give you a little bit of a practice run on like what are people going to wonder about when they watch this movie? What questions might you hear when we do a discussion at General Assembly about it? I know for myself, and I think I can speak for Jen DB too. Like we watched it and we just like we're just grins across our face. It was really really sweet to see all the things that you all had to say. And Pip Clues did an amazing job pulling it together. So whenever you see her, please give her big hugs and gratitude. We're gonna create a big card of thanks for her when we're at GA. It's on my list of things that we need to do, so that she knows how much we appreciate her because she worked on that for hours for us. It was a heavy lift.
Hey, Kirsten, I have one question. Are we going to be doing groups similar to previous years where there's a cooking group, a cleanup group, la 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 la?
Yep.
Okay, excellent.
We sure are. So there's breakfast crew, and a dinner crew probably most days. Breakfast crew, breakfast cleanup crew will be setting out lunch for us to make lunches most days. We won't, I don't think, be at the house most days for lunch. But yes, there will be meal crews that help to help with all of that. Great question. Any others? Awesome. It's 7:25.
Nice.
5 minutes before our end time. That's maybe a first. I am really looking forward to this. I know it's like probably for many of you, like I don't know what to expect. It's kind of the nature of the beast, but yeah, just remember the group mindset. Remember that uh, that if we can hold our expectations loose and be open to what comes, um, things tend to be pretty awesome. It's a really amazing group of people, both youth and adults, and we have a gigantic house. Oh, I do want to say something about the house. We'll talk more about it when we're there, but we do need to be respectful in this house because we've 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 joked at times of having like swanky janky, I think is what we were calling the house in New Mexico. Like it looked like it could have been fancy at a time, but it was kind of falling apart. This house, I think, is just straight up swanky, and we definitely want to respect and not break anything. So prepare yourselves for that of like being in a house where you're not going to be crawling inside of fireplaces.
She graduated. It's
There,
fine.
there will be no
Congratulations.
there will be no
I heard
fireplace hiding spots.
Best hide and seek spot ever.
Did
No,
not get
Christopher
found.
had the best hiding.
Christopher's, that's true.
I do think
Christopher
Christopher won that
up
hiding
above
spot.
was, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Anyway, I promise we will still have fun in the house, but we are going to be careful there. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to another adventure with so many of you. Don't hesitate to reach out if questions come up. Jen and I will email, follow up with all of this information, and we will contact you directly if we're missing things after a few days. Thank you, everybody, for making the time to be here at the end of a long weekend in the middle of very busy weeks. We love you. Good luck with the ends of school and all the wrap ups. And I think that's it. Let's
You
close. Let's close in the chat with a word of how you're feeling as we're anticipating this journey, and then I will extinguish our chalice. Everybody offer a word, whether a parent or a youth. Excited might just be the word. Pumped.
Hmm.
Grateful, excited, curious.
No.
Fantastic. Hype. Love.
You have one.
Yes. Mega excited. All of that. Let's go. Deep thanks, everybody. Have a good night. We go now in peace, knowing that when we return, we will find
Friends.
And pizza.
and pizza and a movie premiere. Woo woo! Love you all. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks. Jenny, did you write down the carpool folks? Is there stuff
I
in the
did. Yep, I have that.
anything in the chat that we need to save?
It'll save to my computer anyway if we need it, but I think I documented everything.
Okay, there was one comment from Kevin Drohan that I just am seeing now. I think we're waiting for a sponsor signature, but not sure.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to sort out anything we're still missing.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad you have
Sandra,
reason.
are you trying to figure out how to get out of here? Too bad we're gonna keep you. You're not allowed to leave.
That was awesome.
Mhm.
Peepaw, we love you.
Did you get get all your laundry folded?
Yeah.
Oh, she's not even here. She's
Uh,
skipped out on us and pretended she was still here.
I see how it is. Or maybe she doesn't know she's muted and she's talking to us this whole time and we can't hear her. I think she skipped out. Love you.
I love you. That was
Bye.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. Bye.
Bye.